Welcome to my coffee channel. I am Thomas, and today I am reviewing an espresso coffee from LifeBoost coffees. I have to be honest, I really never heard of LifeBoost coffees until a couple weeks ago. I'm always looking for new coffees to review. One of the ways I find new coffees is I look under Google Trends, and LifeBoost popped up saying that they get about 15,000 searches on their name every month. So I figured I had to check this company out. It says single origin, low acid, pure coffee. I've never seen the word pure on a label before. Nicaraguan, fair trade, organic. Anyway, I'm going to review it. I am going to analyze it. We're going to cup it. We're going to pull espresso shots. I'm going to cold brew, and I'm going to let you know what I think about this coffee. So anyway, I'll be right back with my analysis. Okay, my sample is brewing. Should be ready in a few minutes, but let's go over this analysis. On my roast right, I got a 39 on the outside of the beans. It's kind of a dark roast, dark medium-like roast. On the ground coffee, I got a 52, which puts it on the high side of a medium roast. So this is like a dark, if you look at the coffee, it's kind of a dark, oily coffee. So it's about a full city roast is what I would call it. On first time using my pH meter. On my pH meter, I got a 6.54. From what I've read, that puts it on a little bit on a higher side than what they would define as a low acid coffee, at least from what I read online. This is kind of new to me. They said 5.5, but just slightly. Like I said, personally, I don't know. Low acid in the coffee, that's that bright, sort of sharp, sometimes bitter flavor. Whether that really upsets your stomach or not. A lot of it has to do with the caffeine, could be. Anyway, anybody out there that drinks so-called low-acid coffee on a regular basis and does it really help you? Let me know in the comments, if you would, please. Anyway, my sample has a few more minutes to go, and I'll be right back and we're gonna sample it. While we're waiting for our sample to get done, this is an espresso, so I'm going to pull a shot. As an espresso, it does make a nice crema. Hints of cherry, mild aroma, hints of black cherry. A little sweetness, not overly aromatic, but all inspiring, not really super great, but makes a decent shot for a fair trade, organic, shade-grown coffee. Okay, I'm going to be right back, and we're going to sample this in a couple minutes. Okay, my sample is ready. It's been here about 14 minutes. Let's give it a try. Again, hints of cherry and aroma. Very light body. Very light acidity. A little sweetness, not much sweetness to this coffee. About medium on the body range. In terms of, I would say in terms of taste and acidity, in the taste, it is very mild. It tastes like a very mild acidic coffee, which is what they market this on. The question is, does that really make a difference to your stomach? I don't know. Like I said, for me, I take an antacid after I drink a lot of coffee. I've been sampling a lot of samples. That's what does it for me. Being in a low acid coffee doesn't really help your stomach. Like I said, let me know in the comments what you think. Anyway, this is not a really all-inspiring coffee. I don't think this was meant to be an award-winning coffee. It's more about being organic, being fair trade, being shade grown, being low acid. Anyway, I'm going to review it on a lot of those things. I have some cold brew going right now. Should be ready in a couple of hours. I'll be back with the cold brew and my full score on this coffee. Be back in a bit. Welcome back. It's been about 12 hours. Our cold brew is ready. Let's give it a sample. There we go. Just gonna sample a little bit. Nice citrus smell. Nice, smooth, no bitterness. Makes a very nice cold brew. But anyway, let's jump into our score on this coffee. So anyway, this is, as you know, it was a organic, fair trade, shade-grown coffee. We're going to talk about those certifications in a minute, but let's get on the score. Okay, we know this was a full city roast coffee. 39 on the whole bean, 52 on the ground. It had a pH of 6.54, which makes it a pretty low acidic, very low acid tasting coffee. On the aroma, had hints of cherry, cocoa, not overwhelming aroma, not very strong. I gave it an 8. Flavor, like I said, very average coffee. This was a very average coffee to me anyway. Nothing really special, nothing really bad. I gave it an 8. Aftertaste, didn't have much of a linger in your mouth, not a heavy body. Gave it an 8. Like I said, being low on the acidity side, I gave it a 7.5. Didn't have a lot of sparkle, much brightness to it. Sweetness, did not have much natural sweetness to it. Had a little bit, not much. Gave it a 7.5. But in terms of bitterness, there was absolutely no bitterness to this coffee. Gave it a 10. There again, a mouthful, light body, didn't have a lot of heaviness to it. Didn't really last in your mouth. Gave it an 8. On balance, being very low acid, it was a heavier body. I gave it a 7.5. In terms of defects, odors, anything wrong with it? Nothing wrong with it. 10. Overall drinkability, I gave it an 8. Overall score on this coffee was 82.5, which makes it a decent coffee, nothing really special, very average tasting coffee. But let's talk about why people would really buy this coffee. Not really an award-winning coffee, but what we're going to talk about is organic. This is an organic espresso. Organic means the farmer that raised it, the roaster that raised it, used no chemicals in the fertilizer, no chemicals in the processing. That may be very important to a lot of people. The fair trade coffee. Fair trade means the farmer that grew the coffee got paid a fair wage, sustainable wage, where he can make a decent living. Shade grown. Shade grown coffee means it was grown under shade trees where they didn't have to cut down the rainforest. And that is what shade grown means. Kosher. Kosher doesn't mean much. Kosher means it was blessed by a rabbi. But my overall index being $35 for a 12-ounce bag, I hope I doesn't insult anybody, but I think that's kind of ridiculous. Absurd pricing. I have to give this a 1-star rating. Way overpriced for what it is. It's alright coffee. I mean, if you're rich, you want to buy it. I mean, it was decent tasting coffee, but there are a lot of organic, fair trade coffees on the market that you can buy for, say, $15 a bag. Flooded the market, lots everywhere. So, at twice that, $35, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't buy it again. But anyway, up to you. That's my review. Hopefully you got some value out of it. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you got value, hit that like button. Have a great day. I'll see you next week.